Okay, so we're going to take the frameworks that we just covered in the last presentation and actually go on here to Alibaba.com and try to source one of those golf archetype products so you can do an over-the-shoulder look at some of these steps as they take place in the real world. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is just come in here and select products and just come in. Let's go ahead and do the golf push cart and see what we turn up in terms of suppliers. And I should quickly note that from the drop down within Alibaba, you can also select suppliers instead of products. So sometimes you may want to actually search for the factory versus the actual product. But in this case, and in most cases, I typically actually look for the actual product itself, then find the factory, and then kind of move along. But you can do it in the inverse. You can select searching for suppliers that make push carts and kind of go through there as a different way to use the search. We'll go back to my computer using the product search. Okay, so this first summary is going to be everybody and their mom, literally. So there's some things that we can do in terms of the filtering to give us a better quality factory and give us a better shot at finding the factory versus an actual trading company. So the first filter we apply is going to be the trade assurance filter. Frankly, that's pretty easy to get. Even people that aren't the best factories or trading companies can pay to get it. But the one that's better is this verified supplier. What the verified supplier means is that they at least had a factory inspection. So this will give us a better idea of people that have actually been to a physical address in the factory and they could be legit. And then at this point, it's really just about doing some scrubs and some analysis on the ones that we think may be qualified to make our golf push cart, potentially with that customization of the bigger tires, and just kind of going through that filter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the ones that we like to a favorites list. And then we will bulk one communication to all these ones that we find. So it's super efficient. And then I'll obviously show you the actual written communication template that you can leverage and tweak for your own purposes for sourcing suppliers. So let's just go through here. This one's a little bit on the small side, so it doesn't have all the other features, but it's obviously a lot less expensive. So I think one angle here that we may want to do is get one of these guys that makes the more simplistic one, and then all we do is differentiate the tires, but we keep everything else simple. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this guy here. So you can see he's in this they're in the city of Foshan. They've been around for 9 years. They've got Golf Goods is in their Golf Goods Limited company, so they make golf products, which I think is good. So these guys are probably legit, honestly. Let's just kind of scroll down real quick. Factories, pictures of their factory here. Video of their factory, that's a good one. So yeah, I think that these guys could be pretty legit. The other thing that I like to do is we could just click on them here and we can see their product suite. So the one challenge with these guys is they're golf centric, which I think is in one way good. In one way, it's probably not as good because they don't necessarily focus on just making the push carts. But we can see here that they make a bunch of different bags and stuff. This is that like small bag for just like a par 3 course or going to Topgolf. So I definitely think these guys I would add to the list. They seem pretty legit. Then if you come to the company overview, you can just see the business types manufacturer. So that's a bonus. And then they've got some ISO. They've got some product search, SGS. They got patents, which is a solid thing to have, and then you can kind of see that they import to other markets. I actually like the main markets where it's not super saturated where I'm looking to sell. So with North America only being 17%, I think that's actually a good thing. So these guys are definitely in the mix for sure. Okay, so I'm definitely going to love that one there. And go back and find some other ones. I should also note here that this was an ad, so sometimes you got to be a little bit careful with the ones that have an ad because they may not actually be legit. It's kind of like Amazon pay-per-click, right? They're trying to pay to get there. But let's just go down this list. This one looks pretty good. Let's just see what these guys are about. So these guys are Ningbo. They're a manufacturer trading company. They make sporting equipment. Let's go ahead and click on their name. So what's good about this is they're definitely specialists in golf carts. So you see golf cart, trolley, stand bag, cart bag, electric golf trolley, golf buggy. So this is their specialty, right? They're making framed trolleys and bags, which I think is a bonus. So I think this is definitely a legit push cart manufacturer. So I'm going to go ahead and love that one for the batch RFQ later. Let's go ahead and go down. So this is an electric one. That might be good for comparison just in case we decide to go the electric route. So engine science and technology, which makes more sense because it's electric. And they're making a lithium tubular motor. Let's just kind of see this factory real quick. So Max Wheel Co. Okay. That's pretty dang cool. It's carbon. That's pretty unique, unlike any other drive. They used to make hoverboards, which I think is good. They made a golf skate caddy. Yeah, these guys would be good for the electric. They're definitely legit. So let's go back to the product. Would just love that product. That could be one we follow up on if we want to go like ultra premium and do like a $800 or $1,000 option. Okay, this is kind of unique. Notice how all of them are 4 or 3 wheels. Oh, this one's 4 as well. But that's a pretty unique 4-wheel design that could be kind of play well into the monster truck concept. Another guy in Foshan, Energy Sports Development. So this is likely their wheelhouse. Let's just see what kind of products. Okay, so they're making a lot of apparel and stuff, golf bags. So they're a little bit more diversified than maybe I'd want. But in some ways, I guess that is valuable to have multiple product options that we could kind of get. They make that big golf mat. I remember seeing that during our research. They're making a lot of golf products. Making golf covers as well. Okay, this is a problem. We got a trading company on our hands. You can see that right there. You can kind of tell by the office setup. Whenever there's a setup like this where it's just an office, not a factory. So we're going to have to kill that one, but it's good that we found out. It's good to know. And close that sucker out. So we'll save that one for another day. But I do like the 4-cart design or 4-wheel design. There it is again. That could be an idea for us. Let's just see about this one. Another 4-wheel. Okay, this is a manufacturer. There's a lot of sports equipment that's made in Dongwon. I've been there a lot, so I know that that's probably legit. Let's just see what these guys are all about. So they make golf trolleys, practice nets, golf ball picker. So they've got some expertise in that area. All right, cool. Yeah, this is legit. All right, we're going to have these guys as well because they could be pretty solid, I think. So we're going to go ahead and love that bad boy. Look at this one. It's an electric golf scooter. There's no way that's only $350. And I don't know if that's legal. I definitely don't want to ship that, but it's kind of freaking cool. Maybe just try to find a couple more. Typically, honestly, I'll probably do, I don't know, like 10 plus for sure is like to get a good barometer. If you can get 20 plus, it's even better. Looks like this one has a little seat. This one has a remote control too, actually. Let's just see this. Yeah, it's got electric wheel with the remote control. That's pretty darn cool. Manufacturer, so again, engine science. Let's look at these guys real quick. Oh, it's the same guys from Max Wheel. Okay. That's actually going to be a decent vendor. I definitely want to chat with those guys and see what they're all about. So add that one to this, and that's actually pretty inexpensive for a electric option. We could maybe go electric versus monster truck, honestly. And then this is one of those like skateboard deals, which is pretty kick-ass actually. I kind of want to just order one for testing. I don't know if they're legal on all courses, but whatever. For the hell of it, let's throw them in the mix too, just for fun. And then this guy's got a little seat, which is kind of interesting. This guy's a trading company, though. You can see the trading company right there. Well, let's kind of batch it at that, and then I'm going to go over to the actual written RFQ form. And so this is a template that we're going to provide in the course that anybody can kind of use and edit. Just save a copy so we're not all editing the same document. But I'll just read this once through, and then I'll walk through some of the methodology on why stuff's in here. So your company appears to have extensive capabilities in golf push carts. So we have selected you as one of the factories in our evaluation for a long-term partner. We are a leading golf brand in the United States market and Europe. with high growth across numerous sales channels and retail partners. At a minimum, we are committing 350,000 RMB investment on this product initially, with much larger long-term potential. Before we proceed with a sample validation, can you please answer the following RFQ questions? Customization. Do you offer product customization? If so, can you please share what custom capabilities you've done in the past? Exclusivity. When we work on custom products and design features, it is important that we have exclusive rights to these designs to protect all of our retail partners in the United States. Are you willing to sign exclusivity and NDA agreements for custom projects we develop with you? Factory visit. We like to have our China team visit factories, and our foreign team will visit too when we come to China. Are these visits welcomed? Capabilities. Can you provide your production capacity for golf push carts? We want to ensure that you have the ability to scale with our larger order sizes as we expand this line. Pricing. Can you share your pricing for 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 pieces and your typical full 40-foot high cube container quantities? We look forward to hearing back from you and working with you on a possible long-term partnership. Shishi, which is like the written English version of thank you. And then I put my name. And I've got a Chinese name, Li-Bai, so I put my Li-Bai Adam first, just so they know that I'm like interacting with Chinese. And then I put the name of my company here, so Birdie Golf Company, but then underneath I put a Heist Labs Inc. business to make it seem like it's a bigger operation. So let's kind of walk through why we did all this stuff. First of all, this is really, really important to the Chinese. And I think it's important to realize, I think a lot of people think it's like a third world country and it's like you're dealing with somebody that you can talk down to. I think it's super important in all your communications, negotiations, everything with your supplier, that you treat them literally like a business partner or one of your employees. So this isn't something where you should be talking down or thinking ill of them. I mean, they are literally going to help you make 7 figures in many cases. So treat them like they're a business partner. But I think evaluating for a long-term partner, that long-term partnership is language that the Chinese love, and it's really what they seek out when they're trying to make deals. They're willing to lose money or sacrifice in the short term to make a long-term partnership. Then I just put here, we are a leading brand in this golf market. I want to kind of talk that we're not only going to be in the US, but we're going to be international, and that we're high growth across a number of channels. This is somewhat of a white lie in the sense that we haven't launched the brand, but my goal with this brand would be to go international and to get into channels outside of Amazon. So in some ways it's a little bit aspirational, but I want them to know that this isn't an Amazon brand. If they think it's an Amazon brand, they're going to think it's a smaller opportunity than it really is. This one's absolutely optional, and it's potentially showing your hand a little bit. But basically the RMB exchange rate's usually anywhere from 6.5 to 7.5 times the US dollar. So I'm just basically saying here, I'm looking to spend about $40,000 to $50,000 on this first run, and then it could be much larger ahead. So this is just to know that we're not tire kickers. And then it basically, the point of these questions, it does help answer some questions that we do have, but more than anything, why I put this in here is to test communication. Are you actually reading it? Do you respond to all the questions that we have? How quickly do you respond? Do you answer effectively with good facts? This is as much about a test of their communication skills as it is really the answers to the question. Although some of these things I do want to know the answers to, especially this last one on pricing. But really that's what I'm kind of setting this up for. The pricing, why I'm asking for these different quantities, is I want to know what their bottom is. I kind of want to know what their price is at a really high volume. I can use that when I get into negotiations to at least understanding how far they'll go at larger quantities and see if I can get that price at lower quantities. So that's the point there. And again, I kind of throw a little bit of kind of Chinese flavor in here just to let them know that I'm kind of, I do business with China and I'm not like unaware of how China operates. So you can kind of put in your own stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm not going to like edit it here on the fly. So basically what you need to do now is you come up to My Alibaba, go to the new favorites section. And then all of these products that we favorited are going to be in here. Again, you kind of probably want to stack up more than 10 for sure. Up north of 20 gives you a good spread. And then you basically select all here. Now here's what's really cool. You go to contact supplier. Now I've got all these different suppliers in here, and boom, I can basically enter in a bulk communication to every single one of them. I basically do this little captcha here. I send the inquiry and boom. And I basically hit up, in this case, it's a handful, but normally you're going to be looking at, north of 20 factories. And then over the next couple business days, you can start to see how they respond, who responds, how do they answer the questions, what was the pricing, and that will help you whittle down who you actually want to converse with on sharing your customization ideas. Potentially, you may want to get an NDA over before you do that, but really kind of solidifying, hey, who are the players that I think I could actually pull this off with? And those are the ones that you then go to the sampling stage, and taking the expensive samples and the costs of air freight and all the time that goes into samples. You want to make sure that you're selecting high quality factories that you could potentially work with. So you go ahead and send inquiry now, and we're off to the races. That's what it looks like. We could do this with all the products that we looked at here. Most of this activity honestly takes about 20-30 minutes. So it's not crazy time consuming. And then in the following week, there's going to be regular communications via the Alibaba platform to kind of hone in on who you might work with. And then what I like to do is I like to move them over to WeChat, where we can kind of interact with each other more directly and carry on the conversations and the negotiations to choosing the ultimate supplier after seeing samples. So that's sourcing using Alibaba.com.